Well, hi everyone. I just want to welcome you guys to our meeting today. Let's go ahead and get started with introductions. I am the school principal, Mrs. Boynton, and I will be taking notes during our meeting today. I also am sending around the sign-in sheet if you guys can all please sign in. I'm also going to be sending around our IEP norms, and I just want to highlight a couple. I have that one out for me. During our meeting today, we want to honor our meeting agenda and the time that we've allotted, because I understand that everybody's time here is precious. We also want to communicate clearly and keep a positive thank you and respectful tone of each other's views and what we have to say. Also, and most importantly, we want to keep Jenny's needs and just everything, or discussing her at the forefront of what we say here today.
Great. So I am Jenny's case carrier, and I'm the education specialist, Miss Ivy Negra.
Hi, I'm Jenny's mom. You guys can call me Lucia.
Hey, I'm Jenny's general education math teacher, Miss Ransom.
And hi, I am also the school psychologist, Mrs. James. So before we begin today's meeting, I'd really like to go around the group and just state something positive about Jenny. I think that's a great way to start.
I would love that.
Good. Well, let me begin. I am always impressed with Jenny's math riddles. She loves coming up to the office and just stumping us every time. And that's great. I don't know where she comes up with them, but they're fantastic.
Oh yeah. Jenny in my class always shows that she is ready to grow and improve. We've seen a lot of growth over the last 2 years, and I'm very happy and impressed with just her desire to improve. It's such a great spirit.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, I think Jenny's a great student. She always comes to my class on time. She's prepared. She always has her materials. She's ready to learn all the time.
Well, I want to thank you guys for all of these great comments regarding my daughter. It's not easy getting people to get to know her or understand her ways, especially when she has difficulties communicating. So again, just thank you. Jenny really has great support, great people in her corner.
Well, she's awesome.
Oh, she really is great. We're glad to hear that, Mom. So we are gonna start diving right in. This is an addendum meeting to discuss Jenny's social skills and transitional goals. Mom, these are your parental rights. Do you have any questions, or do you want us to discuss them with you?
I'm familiar with my rights and this process, but a quick review wouldn't hurt.
Okay, that is perfectly fine. That's great. As a quick reminder, you have the right to consent or disagree to any of the proposals made today or any of the changes in Jenny's IEP. You will be given a copy of all the documents presented, and you are welcome to any suggestions. Please feel free to share your concerns, and remember that everything that is said here is always confidential, so there's no need to worry about that. Is there anything else you would like us to go over?
No, but thank you. I feel comfortable proceeding.
Great. So Mrs. Boynton is passing out our agenda for today. If we can all look over the agenda really quickly. So our meeting will be approximately 25 minutes. We just went over the welcome portion. We will be spending the rest of our time reviewing Jenny's test scores and her progress in math presented by Miss Ransom. Then we're going to share some proposed goals that we have in regards to transitional work that will be presented by Miss James, our school psych, and I will discuss determining the accommodations and the modifications that she will be needing for any decisions that are made. We'll also be scheduling a follow-up meeting with you if that's all right. We'll finally conclude with the district's offer of FAPE, and we will be going over any last-minute questions that you may have. Are we good to proceed?
Yeah, no
Okay.
questions so far.
Great. So I will hand it over to Ms. Ransom to discuss Jenny's academics.
Awesome. Jenny is a pleasure to have in class. She's a great student. She's excelling in my pre-calculus class, which she's one of only 4 juniors in an all-senior class. She's performing above grade level according to the benchmark assessments that we've taken. She also scored in the 95th percentile on her PSAT in math.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to hear that. I know that Jenny has always been very strong in math. She hasn't ever really struggled with that area in her academics, but is there anything else or any room for improvement that you see fit?
Yeah, well, her math skills are really strong. I would like to see her improve her participation. She, in my observation, she seems hesitant to share her answers. While I know she knows the answers, she hesitates in sharing them with the class. She doesn't often volunteer for any demonstrations at the board, and when we do any partner work, she has trouble with that.
Yeah, so Mom, we mentioned prior to the meeting and speaking with you that you shared some concerns through an email that you sent on March 4th about Jenny's meeting her social skills goals. So would you like to recap some of those concerns with everyone?
Yes, so I'm concerned with her ability to initiate conversation, to speak to others. I know that we're 6 months out from our annual meeting, and I'd just like to know that if there's anything additional support or just anything that we can do to help Jenny meet that goal.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm hearing you right. You'd like assistance in helping to increase Jenny's socialization skills, excuse me, and doing that through maintaining eye contact and initiating conversation with her peers. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
What do you guys think would be the best way to go about this? I know I've been having her order her own food when we're out at a restaurant, you know, speaking to the waiters well, if she needs something, a napkin, a fork, a refill.
Those are great ideas.
While we're out running errands, but I'd really like her to feel more comfortable talking to kids her own age. Are there any opportunities for socialization here?
Yeah, I mean, I hear all of your concerns and I think they're very valid, and seeing that Jenny is turning 16 or is 16, we want to begin working with her to help her transition out of high school. This is going to become a really big thing in the next couple of years for her, so we were thinking of helping her with something that includes employment opportunities. So we have a new goal that we want to propose to you that should address both these areas of concern, both transitioning and her social skills.
Right. Jenny definitely has the academic skills to meet the expectations required for an employment setting, but she does have, like you said, those challenges with her socialization. We want to highlight Jenny's strengths, which we've identified today, definitely in math, but also trying to work to improve her eye contact and just communication with not only others, but like you had already stated, with her peers.
Yeah, so to provide Jenny with this experience, we would like her to participate in a workplace setting. We would suggest that Jenny begin participating in this work study program that we have off campus, and this would provide her with the opportunity to work with peers and improve her social skills that you've brought up as a concern, Mom, and also preparing her for future employment.
You said off campus?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So our school has partnered for a long time now with the local Petco. I'm sure you've driven by it a ton of times on your way to school, and many of our students have successfully gone through that program, gaining work experience, and it's just really provided them with a fabulous foundation for employment, and many of them have even stayed on afterwards. And we thought that that would be a great pairing for Jenny because she has definitely expressed a strong interest in animals. We know she's an animal lover.
Yeah, I think this would be a really appropriate placement for Jenny because she has shown mastery in her money-related math skills.
But I have some questions, some concerns, like how would she get there?
Okay, that's a valid concern that we do receive from other parents as well, and I like to go ahead and just answer that if I can for you. In regards to transportation, Jenny would just be walking. It is just a straight shot right down the street. It's one block up.
You said walking. How many streets would she have to cross? Would she be walking alone?
Jenny would only be crossing one intersection that has a prompt to prompt her when to cross the street, and then has a clearly painted crosswalk to guide her across the street safely.
I know Petco, how far is it? I'm just really concerned if she's gonna be walking on a busy street, will she be accompanied?
So these are all valid questions, and I am so glad that you're asking them. In regards to who would be walking with Jenny to her workplace, it really would depend on her schedule. It kind of depends on who can walk with her from her classmates.
Wait, I'm confused. What do you mean it would depend on her schedule?
Okay, let me further explain. So the students have different schedules, and depending on whether Jenny has another student that is scheduled at the same time, they could possibly walk together to the Petco, but sometimes, you know, it really depends on how the schedules are matched. She might not always have someone to walk with her.
Okay. How long would her work study shifts be? How often would she be leaving campus?
So how often would just depend. It's typically 2 to 3 days a week they're off campus. And currently, I want to say shifts are about 2 hours to begin with. And then after her 3-month probationary period, if Jenny is excelling, her hours go from 2-hour shifts to 4-hour shifts. And also then there's, I think, a little bit of an increase in...
Well, additionally, she will also be giving an increase in job responsibilities, all appropriate to her needs, of course.
and skill level.
Of course.
So our goal really would be to help her transition and prepare for her future, like through this work program.
In many cases, students are hired right after high school. They continue working on the job site. It's really great for a lot of our students, especially after graduation. Like we said, helping them transition out of high school into the post-high school, you know, time period.
I'm not so sure about her leaving campus. How would I even know she got there safely?
Okay, that's all a great question, and I hear your concerns, Mom. So we have noticed that Jenny has a phone. We could possibly consider downloading an app, a GPS app that would let you know where Jenny is at all times, not just school or work, but also if you are concerned with her location on the weekends or during her extra time. But we also require our students to sign in and out of work, so we have a complete record of that information for you to have.
Okay, I love all of the intentions here today and the proposals presented for Jenny to meet her goals, especially because you guys are taking her interests, you know, in account with matching her with Petco.
But I'm sensing, is there something that you're not comfortable with, Mom? What?
I see this more as a long-term goal that can be attained. I have issues with the work site being off campus. I think the idea of Jenny leaving campus and walking alone at some days, just, it doesn't sit well with me. Is there anything that, I mean, what if I just can't pick her up after work?
So,
When her shift's done?
is there any other form of transportation that you are open to? Is there someone else who could possibly pick her up? Or would you be open to us working on bus transportation? How do you feel about that?
Is there just any way for this proposal to proceed without Jenny having to leave campus? Perhaps making her an aide in the main office.
So I hear what you're saying. You don't want Jenny working off campus. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, I wouldn't want her to leave.
So we can work with that. I would have to say possibly not in the main office, just because we know that Jenny has higher social skills with adults. She does feel more comfortable with adults, and though that's great and we want to continue working on that, we do want to have her interact more with her peers and improve on socializing with people of her age. So because the office has a lot of older staff, they're usually adults, we would have to reconsider a different location on campus for her to work.
Well, then there's that confidentiality aspect also, that
Yeah.
there's student documents and things being discussed that we would never want to put Jenny in a compromising position where she had information or knew of something going on with another student. I love getting her back on campus. What about volunteering in the cafeteria? What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think it might be more effective to put her in a job where she can build on her strong math skills.
Okay.
Okay, so I agree. Seeing that she does well, I think would be really great, especially because that's gonna help build her confidence if she's working with things that have to do with math, and ultimately also help her feel more confident in her social skills.
I would like that. I think it's a great idea to have her managing money,
Okay.
because it comes with responsibility that, would be good
Yeah.
for her.
Yeah. We could maybe consider her working the ticket booths or the concession stands during the school plays.
I do think that that's a great idea too. The only problem with that, and I think I'm right on this, that we have 2 plays a year and they're only for 4 nights. And that really wouldn't give her kind of that consistent socialization and working with math and money. I'd like to see her working in something weekly, and that would also just help establish like that routine and that schedule for her, which is just going to be a great skill set for later
Yeah.
on.
Well, we also have the concessions and tickets for our sporting events, and those are all year round.
That's true.
That would, and
Yeah.
it would be after school.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that wouldn't work because I'd have to rearrange the schedule. Nobody would be able to pick her up after school.
There's no one else like that she could catch a ride with, or another family member, neighbor that could.
No,
possibly-
I wouldn't want to upset that routine. Just nothing after school.
Okay, we hear you. We are totally fine with that, Mom.
What about our student store? What are the hours for that?
I think they're during school hours.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. They have a cash register so she can use her money skills, and they have to keep track of inventory.
Right.
Yeah, and Jenny could leave a few minutes before, their lunch break or their snack time to go and work there. And I believe they're open in the mornings. Would you be open to bringing her a little bit earlier so she could work? Is that okay?
I can do that. I
Okay.
like that idea, but who would be supervising her?
So that is a great question. We can start off, I will start off by stepping in. We could do that for the first month. I'll step in periodically to make sure that she is trained appropriately, somewhat of a job coach, like if we needed a job coach off campus. Then I could continue observing her. We could ask the supervisor on site to provide data to ensure that she is reaching the goals that we have set for her. I think that's something we can work around for.
Okay. How would she learn what she needs to do? Would she have any support?
Oh, absolutely. So when working in the student store, she would be there with other students that are going to come alongside her and just help her improve her communication skills. But in addition to that, we can also provide training and modeling for her through other students. I do believe that we've used visual cues at the cash register before, just to kind of remind them, make eye contact, be polite, smile, say hello, goodbye, have a good day. Just those visual cues so that people aren't, having to prod and poke at her to remind her to do that. Just something that she can just see visually.
I would like that. I'm okay with that. How would she know what to say to customers?
So for this, we can do a lot of conversation practicing. We can come up with a script, typical conversations that happen between a cashier and the customer. We can even send it home with you, so you or someone at home can practice. We would love for her to get support on both ends. All that practice is really gonna help her in store. And like you said, we can provide visual cues as well, not only for maintaining eye contact, but different phrases to use, what to say when they ask you a certain question. We can provide all of that for her in store as well.
Yeah, I would like that. I'd like to practice at home with her.
Okay, great. Are there any other concerns that you have regarding the student store?
No, not at all. I'm happy with what we have so far.
That is awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. Just to touch on this one more time, is the PETCO work-study program something that you are open to working towards in the future? Can we reconsider this at another time?
I think we can. I just
Okay.
not now.
I think that that's fair, yeah.
Great.
Just in preparing for next year, I just want to encourage you or somebody at home, maybe in taking Jenny out, practicing how to cross the street safely and identifying signals and street signs. Do you think that that's a good goal for us to be working with toward her? Could you do that? Or is somebody at home be taking her out on a walk?
Yeah, and this will be a really great way for Jenny to build that confidence, becoming much more aware of the signs and really understand the responsibility of crossing the street and how to, responsibly be safe when crossing streets.
Yeah, and I think if we're practicing this, it's gonna help us to meet our goal by our next annual meeting, because we'd like to start Jenny off campus then her senior year and have her be working at PETCO through this work study program her senior year. So that if an opportunity arises after, she's been there a while and could continue.
Definitely. I do think this is something that I can work with Jenny at home to prepare for next year, and I think it would make me feel much better knowing that I was the one who worked on this with her. But I know that I need to allow Jenny to be more independent, especially with walking through the community. Would it be a good idea to start practicing with her to walk from school to PETCO, the path that she would be taking next year?
Yeah, that is absolutely wonderful. That is a great thing to start doing. It will really provide Jenny with the opportunity to really become familiarized with going from school to the PETCO and setting up that routine for her. That would be so great.
I'd really like that.
Awesome. So are there any other concerns that you have, Mom, that you want to bring forward at this time?
No, I'm comfortable with the proposal goal on working in the student store this year and then moving towards working with her to be at PETCO next year.
Okay, that is great. We're so glad that we were able to come to a solution that you are comfortable with. Always remember, we want you to feel comfortable and still meeting her needs.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. I think the student store is going to be a great fit for her.
Yeah, I second all of that. I think it's a great place to begin that foundation for her future.
Great. So if there's nothing else, seeing that we want to respect the time that was allotted for our meeting, Mom, do you support the addendum and the revised transition goals that we've discussed?
Yes, you have my support.
Great. So we have here the district's offer of FAPE is continued placement in the SDC classes to supplement the general education curriculum due to the eligibility for special education services under the category of autism via IDEA. Mom, do you consent to the decisions made?
Yes. Yes, it will. Jenny would be really excited. She's very interested in working with animals.
So great. So sign there, Mom, and if there is anything else, I'm gonna ask everyone to sign the document as well. I will type everything up and I will get you a copy of the finalized IEP once I have it finished, probably within the next week or so. Our proposed next meeting is for Friday, June 14th at 3:30. Is this a day and a time that works for you, Mom?
I believe so. June 14th on Friday?
Yes.
8:30?
Yes.
Perfect.
Awesome. All right. Thank you everyone for being here and participating.